Hi, my name is Debbie Happy Cohen, and I'm the founder of Joy-Based Living, and I'm really excited about making this very complex topic of complex post-traumatic stress response simple. One of the simplest practices that many people have been studying in recent years is mindfulness. It's a technique where you focus your full attention on the present and without judgment. That's the main idea. And for most people, when they sit inside the present moment and they're just with themselves, stuff comes up. So you basically, it's like a yoga, emotional yoga. You just let the stuff rise up, and when you don't judge it and you just hold space for it, it releases. It just gently, naturally releases like a breeze flows through. Now, this book, Letting Go by David Hawkins, is an excellent mindfulness book. I don't know that he ever calls it mindfulness, but just listening to the book, you get a walkthrough of the main emotions and with synonyms for them. So you're triggered to bring up all kinds of different experiences inside your body and release them. Now, let's bridge that to CPTSR, which is complex post-traumatic stress response. And it was known first as a disorder, but my metaphor is, if someone keeps poking you with a stick and you get a bruise, do you have a disorder? No, you have a bruise. It just needs healing. Well, what if that bruise was deep inside in your soul and it affected your identity? Is that a disorder, or is it a response? So I believe, and other people who are on this path along with me, who are other teachers, also believe that it is a response. Where I'd like to make the bridge is this. When you're dealing with complex post-traumatic stress, you're dealing with emotions and sensations that even the best mindfulness books are not discussing. So, for example, toxic shame. That is worth learning about if you have been dealt a hand of emotional abuse or narcissistic abuse. False shame, false guilt. That's another really good one. I put a really great quote about that, which I'll add here to this video so that you can see it again. It's in another video. It's by Lydia, and I can't say her last name. So I'm going to read you the definition of complex post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, CPTSD, according to Pete Walker in his book, CPTSD. And you might be able to make that bridge then to go, oh, I see. So if I'm doing mindfulness, but I have an awareness that I've been traumatized at the level of my identity, my sense of being in the world. Okay, so these are the ones that have been stuffed deep down. And a couple of the emotions that are the most difficult to access that have been stuffed, and especially if somebody got into spirituality like I did, grief and rage and blame, which generally would just move its way through, got stuck and stuffed. And so giving that the time without judging it, without superimposing forgiveness or shoulds on top of it, can be very, very healing. So a definition of complex CPTSD by Pete Walker is this. CPTSD is a more severe form of post-traumatic stress disorder. It is delineated from this better-known trauma syndrome by 5 of its most common and troublesome features: emotional flashbacks, toxic shame, self-abandonment, a vicious inner critic, and social anxiety. He goes on to say that emotional flashbacks are sudden and often prolonged regressions to the overwhelming feeling states of being an abused or abandoned child. These feeling states can include overwhelming fear, shame, alienation, rage, grief, and depression. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you wanted to read more from his book, please do. I highly recommend it. It's called CPTSD. And I'll end with one quote about kids, and then I'll let you read Lydia's quote if you want to. So here's the thing. It is not normal for a young child, like a baby, to not yell out when their needs aren't being met. If there is shame associated with yelling out, what will happen is that in the future they will experience fear and or depression and or shame if untreated. They'll experience these things as an adult. That will keep them from getting traction in their lives. And that's what we're calling CPTSD, CPTSR. So on the level of mindfulness, all we're saying is be present and available to those deeper level uncomfortable feelings that might make you feel like judging them or running from them or not admitting them because they're not a match to who you want to be. They are old, and we're just letting the garbage release itself is all we're doing here. And there's clarity on the other side of it. So that's about all for now. I'm going to leave you with the Lydia quote and let you read that yourself if you want to. Thank you for being with me here on this leading edge conversation. I believe in you.